what is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review the fourth album by American rap rock band Gym Class Heroes. Basically, this product is called the Quilt, and that came out in the late summer of 2008. And the particular fair about this group is they are a little bit more underground within the low-key typeness of the aspect behind how their initial come-up kind of happened, but they did start to have some breakout moments in like 2008, 2006, 2011, some of those type fairs. This is a good amalgamation of assortment of folks: Cool and Dre, Patrick Stump of Fall Out Boy, Tricky Stewart, who was the producer for the Dreams, and those type folks. It's pretty good amalgamated within the product of it. But definitely, this is a group that Travis McCoy is a part of. I reviewed his solo album Lazarus back in the summer of 2023. Pitches like that, definitely some good ordeals. That was a blistering classic. But this particular one, it definitely has some classic packaging about it as far as what's going to happen, but it's also pretty trendy within the sense, just considering the time when it came out. This was kind of some secret ordeals around this time, because this came out in the same month as hit albums that were kind of popular in like the rap scene, like The Recession by Jeezy and Paper Trail by T.I., some of those type folks, but this was around the same time. And I think in the more consistent kind of appeal, like pop rap and things like that within the makeshift type sense, this is probably something that was getting within the crest, like the chart appeal. Now, Gym Class Heroes 2011 album did better than this particular one, but this was kind of a primer, kind of the album before the album as far as these pitches kind of happen within the aspect behind it. Kind of a big deal, definitely trendy within the aspect as far as doing things. I think this was one of the albums that was responsible for ushering along some of the trends that were kind of happening in 2010. Like when you think of folks like, obviously, Travis McCoy's Lazarus album from 2010 with songs like Billionaire. B.O.B. kind of took some reference from this particular album with the Adventures of B.O.B. with songs like Airplanes, and with Airplanes and Nothing on You, some of those pitches. This has some decent similarities to Bruno Mars as well, pitches like that in his 2010 days, fairs like that, Eminem's Recovery, some of those type ones. So this is some of that initial type product of that particular rollout that crested between like probably about this time, maybe even further back, as far as like as cruel as School Children from 2006 within some of that fairs, but probably more or less between like the mid-late 2000s to about early 2011, 2012 pitches like that. I mean, that particular movement, Travis McCoy, Bruno Mars, B.O.B., some of those type folks within the aspects behind it, this particular, it lasted a decent while until at least about early 2012 pitches like that. B.O.B. kind of had similar sounds that I need to get that Strange Clouds album as far as this first going to happen, but within those pitches, it seemed like after that he kind of switched up. But this is some particular ordeals. It's really too bad that there's not more Gym Class Heroes albums nowadays within these pitches as far as these particular formats kind of happen. It's just some good ordeals that's kind of underappreciated. Or it may not be underappreciated, but it's just kind of commonplace it's less commonplace within the product of like the recognition that it gets in nowadays times. They definitely had a pretty steady string of hits for a good while, similar to like how Nelly lasted for a good while in like the 2000s. It's just kind of the pitch that when they wore out, it was just kind of the fashion that Travis McCoy kind of became forgotten about after about 2010, 2011, some type of ordeals. Apparently he got into like some addiction problems, pitches like that throughout the 2010s, but he did eventually drop another album. I don't know when it was. It might have been 2022, 2023. He came back within like the past 3 or 4 or 5 years, but Gym Class Heroes just virtually vanished, which is very unfortunate because they went out on a pretty extreme high within those pitches. The 2011 album definitely had multiple singles off it, so it was a big type of ordeal. But yeah, this is a classic here. The Quilt is definitely a classic here. Like I was saying, the Quilt is a definite classic here, very groundbreaking pitches like that within those ordeals. Now, I would say more or less within the aspect, it does have a pretty good gateway type song within the pitch, as far as the only real song that charted out this album was Cookie Jar, but that's a particular ordeal that feels like an offshoot of what T.I. was kind of doing with songs like Whatever You Like and some of those type ones from Paper Trail within those aspects, but this is kind of like a conduit type song. Real excellent snag to throw the Dream on there, some of those type pitches, because that was the particular product as far as just like kind of conduit type moments, as far as kind of from alternative hip hop and more kind of alt rock, kind of 4 o'clock p.m. dredge pitches like that, to more like the product like the synthy, to like the pop rap type bleeds that T.I. was doing with like No Matter What, to like the pop rap type bleeds that T.I. was doing with No Matter What and Whatever You Like and Live Your Life, some of those type ones within the pitch. But it's definitely a good ordeal. This album is more evening scene, more so than night scene within the product of it. It kind of has those ordeals of just the things that you would get to within a similar type fashion, and just go into places like McAllister's and Wingstop, some of those type of ordeals, sports bars, some of these type of places where you get nachos and products like that, some chicken wings, some of those type of ordeals within the aspect of some further type jumps and pitches like that. So definitely within the fair, yes, definitely good restaurant, evening lounge type music within the ordeal, but it also kind of does it in an early bird kind of pop rap kind of breakthrough as far as this pitch happens. So it's definitely pretty makeshift in the sense, has the makeshift bleeds on here, the SFW type moments within the ordeal is kind of the pitch. It's kind of a conduit type album that nails the particular concepts of being some alternative kind of pop rap. So definitely excellent with the pitch, but yeah, there were 3 singles out this project. There's only one song I don't recommend out of the 14 on here, so it's definitely pretty excellent type ordeals. It really doesn't feel like this album came out in the 2000s as far as those aspects can happen, but it actually did within those projects a decent portion like the 2000s. I probably would have to guess that as Cruel as School Children as well from 2006 probably had these ordeals within it. But yeah, Peace Sign Index Down is a nice one. This has Estelle on the hook, or Guilty as Charged has Estelle on the hook, but Peace Sign Index Down is a nice one. This has Busta Rhymes on here. It's like a nice makeshift occasion and socialized, kind of get within the aspects of it here. There's some late day malaise that had to say, just a chatty kind of bop as far as this physical kind of happen with it. The Peace Sign Index Down definitely gives vibes like Maroon 5, This Love, or She Will Be Loved, some of those type pitches within the format of it. Definitely similar to songs like This Love and She Will Be Loved within the format of it, as songs about Jane from Maroon 5 back in those days as far as this physical happen. It has a very similar riff to that particular format, but just, yeah, nice makeshift occasions, some socialized within that, just SFW type fair to kind of listen to in the late 2000s type fashion. Very refreshing within the aspect as far as getting a song like this just in the product that just like some pop rap kind of within the pitch that just has just some good kind of Target and gas station type music within the aspects as far as those tones are going to happen. But yeah, definitely some late day malaise, just kind of a chatty bop, like I was saying, just kind of within the product of the day, fair pitches like that. So it's just the pitch as far as that particular fair. Busta Rhymes suits this song pretty excellently within these ordeals, pitches like that. Good, nice one. Now, Cookie Jar is a real excellent type one. This is a real good gateway type one within pitches, switching styles from more of like pop rap kind of trendy around that time. You know, Jeezy's Put On and T.I.'s Whatever You Like, some of those type moments. Ludacris is What Them Girls Like, some of those particular type ordeals that were popping around late 2008, some of those type ordeals getting to more kind of pretty good commercial type alternate rap type tune within the pitch behind it. It's like a smarmy and plush kind of makeshift crawl, I'd say, about this one here. Pretty much just within the aspect of something. This definitely feels like a Paper Trail offshoot, I'd have to say here. Real nice, the dream snag as far as this feels going to happen. Just kind of a SFW club. It's definitely some SFW clubbing as far as this feels going to happen. So just in the pitch, definitely within the same type fashion where you'd listen to songs like Whatever You Like and where you listen to songs like Whatever You Like and No Matter What by T.I. within those fashions, but just a little bit more SFW bound within pitch, and probably where you bring your coworkers along, some of those type pitches. So it definitely has the aspect, same sort of aesthetic, same sort of fizzy kind of nightclub go-go type place where you play songs from Paper Trail, some of those type aspects around that particular time, like that pop rap kind of gloss that was popular in the fall of 2008 was the pitch as far as saying. So it's the same sort of makeshift type ordeal within those pitches, just within the aspect. So Cookie Jar is the same sort of club fizz and pizzazz. It's like songs from Paper Trail, pitches like that, but just more in a blue collar type sense within aspects as far as those tones gonna happen. It's not to say that Paper Trail is not blue collar, some of those type fairs, but just within the pitch, it just more. This has the aspect of more everyday type fair within pitch, so good type aspect within those tones. And Guilty as Charged with Estelle is a nice one as well as like a quality evening scene step out to kind of get here within pitch behind it. Head to restaurant type fair and munch type places, pitches like that. Some good foot taps as far as those fairs gonna happen. So definitely within pitch like the ordeals behind it. Some of these have ones that have more, it's kind of more composition. The fair about this album is it's not as full bound within the tear, but really getting shit faced within those aspects like getting blissed out of your mind. I think the product songs like Peace Sign, Guilty as Charged, Have Some Drinks in Your System, fairs like that. Same thing with Cookie Jar and a more fizzy type, go-go type club hit, just like that. But it's just kind of the ordeal as far as saying it has a certain kind of composition about it where it's just not the main. Now, I think Travis McCoy definitely loosened up on his 2010 album, but this particular one just has a little bit more, not necessarily prim type aspect, full bound within the pitch of being square about it, but just kind of concept where it just has enough composition to where you might possibly still be able to drive home within those pitches. Not to recommend drinking and driving within pitch. It's the composition where it's just, more organized within fashion, just having some good gripping within those ordeals as far as this fares. And it's not, not to say within fashion and not having it's not as if getting tore up in the pitch has the problem within those full bound, but just has a composition and just more straightforward typeness with an aspect of the social scene kind of in it, but just a good handling, like the aspect of the balance of still having the composition and responsibility behind it. So it's just the ordeal as far as this fair is. So a good type ordeal. It's a good type single. Some nice ones on here. It's another good chart-centric type song. Now, these other two songs, basically Peace Sign Index Down and Guilty as Charged and Charges Heavily, but they are good, nice ones. So the only song off this album out of the 14 on here I don't recommend is just Like Father, Like Son, Papa's song within those pitches. That's just kind of a homebound type one. I feel like folks like Lil Wayne just nailed those particular vibes better. Tupac had a better Papa song within those pitches, even though he is a little bit more furious in his Papa song from basically Strictly for My Niggas, some of those type of ordeals. It varies within those pitches, just was not as affable. It was just kind of a more Like, this is kind of a more hard on your sleeve type one that just was not as full bound catchy within pitch. Just the aspect, I think it more had to do with the production fare more so than anything else. It's kind of a more, it's just more earnest within the aspect, didn't have as much full bound appeal. But other than that, this particular album has the nailed aspects. So this gets a 10 out of 10. So some of these type ones, there's definitely some ones on here that have some similar type fashions. The peace sign, index down, and guilty as charged pitches like that. Drunk text, Romeo's a nice one within those ordeals. It's like a woozy kind of day shift sludge, I'd have to say here. Typical kind of slog, but good post hour kind of strut and pitches like that, and goods run as far as those fares are going to happen. So just to miss the pitch like the day type fare, there are some similar type fashions. This is very much within the same aesthetic. To kind of say this is kind of not so much a full bound kind of offshoot of Paper Trail, but it has enough similarities to kind of be able to say it's a good 1-2 punch that if you pick up like 2 or 3 albums from around that time within those pitches, this would be a good nice one to kind of have for like the makeshift type run. This is more the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday type music. You know, probably Paper Trail within certain fashions could probably be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But this kind of aspect, I think Paper Trail, you know, for T.I., compared to what T.I. was typically up to, it was definitely some makeshift type ordeals and weekday type music was this kind of pitch as far as saying it did have the tear up type moments. It's just the product of this being kind of having more blue collar kind of lace into a job type music within the ordeal as far as the space goes. But it's definitely excellent in the pitch getting to some of these type ones. Kiss and Ear is the second song with the Dream on here. Is definitely excellent. These Dream songs are pretty blistering within the tones. This is like a jumping primer for a night on the town, pitches like that. Just some suaveness and crisp kind of embellished as far as this pair is going to happen. Great song to mingle as far as this pair is going to happen. So definitely excellent with the pitch. Some further socialized type ones goes along with probably Guilty as Charged, just a little bit more of like within the venue pitches like that. Just kind of ordeals like some step out. Probably decent, nice one. Get some tipsiness kind of in your system. Some of those type of ordeals that getting towards the product like some job within the product. It's not. There's enough socialized about this album that it does have the fare for some of these type of products. It's just basically like a rap type version of Maroon 5 from like the songs about Jane Days pitches like that. Some of those type ones, maybe more or less like the 2007 album as well. I forget what that one's called. It won't be soon before long before within those pitches as far as this format's going to happen. Live a Little is another quality one. This reminds of like Panic at the Disco and alternative kind of fares within pitches like that. Definitely some of those type products within the particular popular kind of alt metal type scene and an emo type sense from like 2005, 2007 pitches like that. There's some excellent kind of city weaving, kind of red hot kind of town enjoy within those fares. So just the product. Fall Out Boy was tearing things up around the fall of 2008 pitches like that, so it's just a good type product of getting like a rap type version of some of those type formats within those pitches. So it's definitely some excellent type appeal within some of these type ones. Definitely rap oriented Panic at the Disco type songs are definitely welcome within those pitches. I like the particular product. This one, Catch Me If You Can, is a nice one as well. It's like a good Paper Trail kind of similar city strut to kind of get in a more day scene type fashion within the pitch behind it. So this kind of the product is something where you listen to songs like Whatever You Like and Live Your Life, some of those type fares, but just more in like a kind of snack run type fashion. Just picking up like some Slim Jims pitches like that, some good frozen burritos, some type products, combos, some particular type formats amongst it. So just kind of easy going kind of day sunshine type fare within a pitch. Home is a nice one as well as like a slinky kind of post-hour lounge and routine kind of errands pitches like that. I'd say great song to get crunk to in like a homies type fashion. Some pitches like that, just get some dap and noise, some good homies dap and noise within those products of it as far as those pairs can happen. Pretty simple within those tones as far as those pairs kind of happen. So just the products and socialized and smoke edge type fare with pals pitches like that. Picking up some McDonald's and Arby's pitches like that within a group type setting, some of those particular type products of it. So just the particular fare, just kind of probably one of the more type ones that feels more of like a sluggish type fashion, or something where you would be getting stuck pitches like that, a little bit more or less within the evening type scene, more within the product, more neighborhood, just powwow type fashion, smoke type product. Powwow smoke type product was within it. Good excellence within those fares to be able to say. Live Forever, Fly With Me is a nice one as well. It's like a dope early bird, kind of early 2010s radio grab within the pitch behind it. Definitely reminds like Eminem, Recovery, and B.O.B. Some type folks within the pitch. There are some ones on here that are trendy within these aspects. Like I was saying, this is a trailblazing type album that was kicking up style that was getting ready to dominate for a good few years within those pitches. It definitely feels like a 2008 version, like the stuff that was popping up pretty oftenly in the summer 2010, summer 2011, summer 2012, some of those type pitches. Strange Clouds, Adventures of B.O.B., Eminem's Recovery, within certain senses, Hell the sequel, some of those type pitches within formats. So definitely have those good type ordeals. Another one like that is Coming Clean. This like a dreary kind of good pop rap single kind of get. This definitely reminds of Eminem Recovery. I'd had to say some of that slime pitches like that. It's a great breakout type song within some of those type pitches. So this is the format. These were definitely some of the vicious styles that gym class heroes wielded within these particular times within those aspects. So it definitely has these alt rock kind of evening scene type ones, and also has some excellent kind of pop rap kind of grabs within the pitch, like something for like just day shift kind of makeshift pitches like that, similar to songs like Love the Way You Lie and some of those type ones. Spacebound and like Airplanes by B.O.B., some of those type pitches. Spacebound by Eminem, Airplanes by B.O.B. pitches like that, some of those type ordeals. So No Place to Run's Relax on type one. This one, No Place to Run's one of my more favorite ones on here. It's like an excellent kind of evening bleed to kind of get here within these aspects. Very alt-rock kind of initial bar noise, I'd say, within the product of it here. Just a good commercial grab within those pitches. So this is pretty similar to Travie McCoy on his 2010 album, where he'd have some of those woozy type ones for just more of like a Benny type foot tap within some of those type pitches. Just some brief kind of dance shaking as far as those pitches kind of having shake your ass and dance club selling type products that just get cut and loose a little bit within the fair, just like some good product. Now, it's actually surprising that more of this particular album is more restaurant type scene and just the evening kind of embellish and post hours type embellish. There are some day scene type songs in here, but in terms of like the actual night venue where it would be past probably like 10 o'clock p.m. or 8:30, 9 o'clock p.m. pitches like that, it's kind of the fairest part saying I think No Place to Run's a good commonplace type one within pitches like that. And I'd probably say Cookie Jar and Kissing Ears are probably the closest ones also within those aspects. Just within a relative type commonness, but it's just kind of fair as far as saying that's the product it is getting towards. It's a little bit primer type step out within the pitch as far as those aspects can happen. It's not problems with that as far as those pairs can happen. Now, there's something else I was going to say within the product of like, it's either Kissing Ears or Live a Little. I'm trying to think of which one, but I think I basically talked about every other song on here. But yeah, I also say Don't Tell Me It's Over is a real nice one as well. Don't Tell Me It's Over is like a nice, familiar kind of real talk and SFW breakthrough, I'd say, within the pitches behind it here. It's like a good taste of music, I'd have to say, within those pitches. Just definitely feels like something you'd hear in like a sobering type sense for like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock p.m. just within the after lunch rush kind of hours, pitches like that. Just the traffic dredge, like just got done with work, pitches like that. Just some good grit as far as those pitches will kind of happen with it. This song is also on Lil Wayne's The Carter 4 within some type pitches when you talk about the song that he did with John Legend. I forget the name of that song. Yeah, the particular song with John Legend is so special within those pitches. Definitely excellent type one. Very similar within the production fair. Just excellent type ordeals, pitches like that, I had to say. I think another song I haven't talked about on here is Blinded by the Suns. Like amidst like the day scene kind of traffic and motion, I'd say, within the ordeals behind it as far as this fair is going to happen. Just a couple smokes, pitches like that, some chats in like the day heat, some of those type fairs. So just amidst the product. Yeah, so Blinded by the Suns, just some smoke type fair with pals amidst the product of like day shifts, pitches like that. It's kind of more or less SFW type song within the pitch, but just kind of also the product of just like additional type fair and like summer type fashion, city stress pitches like that. Just kind of more neighborhood noise, some of those type aspects, residential bound pitches like that. Some good out and about within those particular products of it. And I think there was something else I was going to say about either Kissing Ears, but I think Kissing Ears, like I was saying, is just the good product of like some further type products, very similar. Just another good dance rumble on here as far as what's going to happen. And then Live a Little is just very similar to like Panic at the Disco from 2005 and Fall Out Boy from 2005 pitches like that. Some of those type ordeals, some of those type folks. Probably, I would also probably say My Chemical Romance, some of those type folks, but then restaurant type scene, romance type fashion pitches like that. So it's just good type ordeal. I think that's fair about the sound as far as those products can have. So the sound gets a 10 out of 10. The social score, I'm going to go ahead and give it 10 out of 10 as well, because this is a revolutionary type album. It may not be the full bound sparked one that prompted this full bound, but it's pretty much within the pitch, probably one that capitalized on the trend of it as far as kicking off some of that. I feel like gym class heroes have been around since at least 2005, but I don't know how long that particular movement of what they revolutionized with like 2010 and 2011, the paper cut chronicles, or the paper cut chronicles 2. They were definitely very mainstream in 2011, 2012 with Paper Cut Chronicles too, but this is a particular one that was like a good look as far as this fair's going to happen. Maybe like Tupac's Me Against the World pitches like that. That was kind of the album before the album. I definitely think it was the album before the album, but in terms of like the pitch of like what they were breaking through is kind of the product where the chart appeal is starting to happen more full bound. But this more or less, I think there's a lot of revolutionary stuff about Gym Class Heroes. This is a pitch that kind of was like a good one that got their foot in the door as far as those aspects, as far as like the kickoffs of it. This is some trends that folks like Bruno Mars, Eminem, folks like B.O.B., other folks like that, some of those type folks within particulars kind of went off and did within those products. It's definitely had that particular trendiness, all the while kind of being like a good cousin to like the paper trail type style, just having similarities to that within the fashion, like those fizzy kind of pop and makeshift type grabs that T.I. did and crusted with in the summer and fall of 2008 and the winter of 2009, but also within the aspects of like kind of having it be more everyday and blue collar within those senses. So definitely nailed the appeal behind it. So 10 social, these venue moments, the evening scene, the restaurant type scene, Wingstop type places, some of these type aspects like the step out of just getting some grub within the after effect of treats and appetizers for like some basket type music for like some goods, just probably like potato wedges, fat french fries, some of those type aspects within the tone behind it, some of those type ordeals, college bars, sports bars, pitches like that, some of those type ordeals. So really nails the product of it, some good socializing. And like I said, it doesn't have the full bound kind of blitzing kind of night venue just get shit face type ordeals like the T.I. album and the GC album, some of those type pitches, but it does have some conduit type moments kind of within the pitch of just swapping out 10 o'clock, midnight type ordeals for more of like evening scenes, 7 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 8 o'clock p.m. pitches like that. So it's a good type product, but it does at least have Cookie Jar that has some of that nightclub type ordeals. Kiss and Ear is pretty good at that. And then there's like another song like No Place to Run that has some of those type products. So it's good type fare. So in terms of the future, like I said, Gym Class Heroes just basically fell off the map. It's really too unfortunate that they were not able to capitalize further on what they did. And with this particular album, their 2011 one, because they definitely went out on the highs. Some good type pitches. Wonder if they could still do that now. Travis McCoy more or less vanished as well within those pitches, which is unfortunate. He was in his prime around 2010. He was in his prime around 2010, 2011, 2012 as well. So it's within those pitches as far as saying, but it's some excellent type products. I'm definitely going to get to some further Gym Class type heroes within those pitches. But it's a good classic here to be able to say, very trendy aspects like that. Good trailblazer and did a lot of things right. Did some capital type stuff.